Welcome into our Jacksonville Jaguars franchise, where today in Week 17 we go on the road to Mile High to face the Denver Broncos. And with playoff seeding almost entirely wrapped up here for the AFC South, there is not much for us to worry about in terms of wins or losses. For the AFC South, we will 100% be making it as we have clinched the division even after a loss to the Colts last week. And as for our opponents today in the Broncos, it has not been a great year for them. Very streaky and not in a good way, as majority of their streaks have been losses, including 4 straight, which they ended last week with a 2014 win over the Commanders. And in his second season, Bo Nix has regressed. His QBR rating is down. His yards overall are down, with yards per game being less. He has met the same amount of touchdowns, however, he's thrown more interceptions, and his completion percentage is 4% lower. And despite the inconsistency with the passing game, the receivers are actually having a really good year. Michael Thomas, in his 10th year, a resurgence with near 900 yards, 11 touchdowns. Marvin Mims Jr. over 800, and Cortland Sutton just over 700. And on defense, they definitely have some good guys as well. Cody Barton, 107 tackles. And then they've got a rookie, first-round pick Jason Venable, with 19 TFLs, 4.5 sacks. They also have Nick Bonito with 11 TFLs, 3 sacks, and we could add Baron Browning to the pass rush duo with 5 sacks. With our division all drawn up and some injury concerns from last week, we are shaking up this roster. ETN, well, he's been our main man. He will get a bit of a breather. It's going to be Tank Bigsby and Levi Brown the remainder of the regular season. In the receiving group, we're going to have Brian Thomas Jr. be our main man. We're going to have Parker Washington play some slot for us, and Javon Baker is going to finally see the field on the outside receiver spot opposite of Thomas. Maxwell Sexton going back into tight end 1. We'll see if he's able to manage that amount of snaps. Luke Bacon, the first round pick, he's going to be getting the start at right tackle, his first career start. But a majority of the change is happening on the defensive side. For the base packages, it'll be Alford, Mason Smith at DT rather than end, and Deo Odeyingbo coming in at right end. In the linebacker group, Hall will be getting the start next to Lloyd. And then Abdullah on the outside taking over for Hines Allen. Walker's still going to be out there. Savage still going to be out there. The cornerback group will be a little bit different. Ringo and Jerian Jones. With Cameron Mitchell coming in the nickel or dime, Jones would then go back to his slot spot and Mitchell will go to the outside. Johnson will also be back into the starting lineup here at free safety. He played a little bit for us last year. And when it comes to the rush defensive line, Walker will remain on the outside. It's going to be Mason Smith and Junior Alford at DT. Deo will go to the outside as he does have the highest speed compared to Mason Smith and Alford. Abdullah will be the primary backup for the outside. Lloyd, Hall, and Muma are going to be the sub-backers. With this opportunity late in the season, Coach Boston will get an opportunity to see what some of those rotational sub-guys can do. As we're underway, it will be the offense out first. Devin Duvernay will still be the return man for us as he looks to go left side, run straight into the one and only defender. Trevor Lawrence coming on out, and heading into this game, Coach Boston let the media know this is his opportunity to not be the man behind ETN. Instead, he's to take charge. Expect to see a little bit more in the passing game, as they will start off with a pass here under pressure and off the back of Cleveland. We saw with the stats from this defensive front that they will get after the quarterback. The offensive line is going to have to hold up and let Lawrence try to show off that arm strength as Brown takes the carry. It's a gain of 1. Lawrence already put in a long down and distance here. 3rd and 9. Of course, he has the ability to scramble if he needs. Throws left side. That's going to be Sexton. Gets the grab and the first down. He started the year as tight end 1. Was the first draft pick for Coach Boston. However, suffered a lot of injuries to start the season. He saw his playing time reduced. Big opportunity for him here as Lawrence keeps and is dropped by Browning. He's primarily been a pass rusher for him. Gets involved in the run game there. They say no gain. Lawrence back to the line. Bunch goes to the right-hand side. Going to be at motion is Washington. 2nd and 10. Looking to pass, flip it across the middle. He finds Parker. We'll get about a gain of 6. And throughout this season, we really haven't got to see much of any of these receiving options today outside of Sexton and Thomas. Have a 3rd and 4 here. Brown, the running back. They go his way on the halfback screen. A former college receiver puts on the spin move. He had his first career touchdown last week as he came in right after Etienne got injured. It was a nice morale boost for the Jags. A 1st and 10 here at the 40. Back to the spread look with a pass downfield for Thomas. It is well overthrown. A bad miss there from Lawrence as he had Rodgers beat by about 3 to 4 steps. 2nd and 10 still at the 40. Stick with a spread look. They go Brown with the draw, and he's going to pick up 8. That should make things much more easier here for the Jags with a 3rd and 2. They're to bring out Tank Bigsby, Josiah DeGuara at fullback. Lawrence making a couple changes there. And hand it off to Tank down the middle. He will barrel forward for the first. That's never a good sign. Looks like Browning a little bit shaken up after the play. He's led the Broncos in sacks. Gonna have to leave the field here for a 1st and 10 at the 28. Bunch left side. Looking to throw downfield for Thomas, who high points it. He brings it down, plus a flag comes in late. But it's not going to be on the defender getting there early. Instead, it's holding on Tank Bigsby. Will erase the play from Thomas. It's 1st and 20. Back of the 38. They get motion from Washington out to the left-hand side. And then looking again downfield, they've got Baker, and is overthrown. That's now twice they've had a receiver open downfield, and Lawrence has just missed him. 2nd and 20. You got Tank in the backfield, motion to DeGuara to the outside, and Tank will not be able to hit it. It's Venable, the rookie. And that makes it 20 TFLs for him in his first season here in the NFL. Lawrence, he saw the open gap. He's telling Tank he's got to turn up. Instead, it's 3rd and 24. Hard count, no one jumps. Spread empty. Trips to the left-hand side. Lawrence taking his time pre-snap. He's under pressure. Ball pops out. And ball flicks up in the air. Graham's going to pick it up. That's going to make it much easier for a scoop and potential score as Brown couldn't catch him. Wow, how that drive flipped on its head. Jaguars working their way downfield. 3rd and long after a couple self-inflicted wounds, and Trevor Lawrence doing what he did to start last week, coughing up the ball. Broncos take it back to the end zone. Depending on how Lawrence and the offense respond coming off of that, you might not even get to see the Broncos offense this entire first quarter. It's 3:01 as the Jags coming back out following that turnover. Back of the 32, they go to Levi Brown, who's going to take the extended play for a loss of 1. That time, Walker read it from the go. That was the same play, though, that Levi Brown scored on last week, just a different defense to match it. 2nd and 11 as they drop back to pass to the outside, finding Tank Bigsby, who will turn down the sideline, and a truck stick on Graham, who just had that touchdown. And he exchanges a few words with him after as well. What a play from Tank. We're up to the midfield line here. They're just about. Going back to Brown on the screen. In comes Venable. He's got some speed. Able to track down Brown, who was a track athlete in high school. Leaves us with a 2nd and 3, a heavy tight end group, as it's going to be a play action roll. Throwing and missing wildly again for Thomas. Not the start that Lawrence was looking for here. Given an opportunity to show what the arm can do, he's definitely missed out on that. He's been a great runner this year. That hasn't been in question. It's been the passing. And as an NFL quarterback, you've got to be able to pass that ball. He finds Brenton Strange for the first down as they're down to the 37. 2 to the right-hand side. Underneath, this time he finds Thomas holding on through the contact. First tackle on the day for Barton does lead the Broncos, now 108. As they go to Tank out of the backfield, and a short run, maybe 1 or 2. Will force a 3rd and 5 with the time expiring here in the first, so indeed, we will not see the Broncos offense. As he throws, it's dropped by Sexton. Ball was put on him well, but we'll send this to the break with a decision to make for Coach Boston on if he wants to go for it or not. The only difference maker being the fumble, scoop, and score. As we get the second quarter underway, it is Trevor Lawrence and the offense still on the field here. Hard count, no one jumps. They will look to pass the ball downfield, and he finds Thomas. Ball a little bit behind, but it kept it away from the safety. A little bit of a risky throw there on a 3rd and about 5. Takes a shot down the field. 1st and 10 at the 11. A tight look to follow. Throws right back to Thomas. He gets the grab and down inside the 5. But just following that play, we actually saw Thomas go to the sideline. Might need to get an update on him following this drive. But throwing nearly a pick to Walker. He had the trailing receiver open, but he just misread it. Leaves a 3rd and 3, a heavy group here, and an early jump, no flag comes down, flipping it out, and he overthrows a wide open Josiah DeGuara. It was Venable who was forming that rush. A bad miss, but the offense stays out here. A spread look, 4th and 3. As they snap it under pressure, Lawrence coughs up the ball. Cleveland jumps on it, but it will still go as a turnover on downs. They get the stop inside the 5. And it was Walker who forced that fumble. But for the first time today, we're going to see the Broncos offense hit the field. We're in the second quarter. They start at the 5-yard line. Go play action. Here comes Walker, and it's going to be a sack. In just one play, the defense has already outscored the Trevor Lawrence-led offense. And it's one of the few remaining original starters out there making the play for the defense, as they will be set to punt the ball back to us. It will take it to the right-hand side, finds a little gap. He weaves underneath another block and is finally dragged down at about the 50. A terrific return from Brown, who's also seeing time at the running back spot today. He's out there immediately. Set up the offense with good field position. Can Lawrence make something happen here? Well, he'll look to do it with his legs. Picking up one block, he's got the first. And that's where he's been at his best this season, just running the ball. Perhaps, maybe he needs to move to running back, making way too much money for that, though. You ask an NFL GM. Under pressure, he throws it at the left thigh pad of the incoming defender. He did have a check down to the running back and a crossing route breaking open, but didn't have time to throw. Brings up a 2nd and 10. To go to left-hand side, Thomas is back out there as it looked to go his way. Turning up down the sideline, about a gain of 20 before pushed out at the 16. And probably as expected, he is leading this receiving group today. He's the only remaining starter again out there in that group. A lot of younger guys getting their opportunity. As Travis, he looks to scramble around here, shakes one, cuts back right. His 2 broken tackles with a gain of 9. But now he appears to be shaken up. He's grabbing at that left wrist and is headed to the tunnel. The whole purpose of these games here, the last 2, getting their rotation, was to keep the starters healthy. Hall checks in. He immediately keeps it and runs it right down the middle. Either he or Tank Bigsby could have scored with such a wide open gap. The Jaguars take the lead following the Jaron Hall touchdown, and it might just be him the rest of the way. But I'm sure there is a select group on Twitter that was hoping that would be the case the whole time. Broncos, they take the field here at the 32. Had a 1-play drive last time. This time they find Cortland Sutton, who's going to pick up 9. With all these different receiving threats, a perfect chance to test out this young DB group. 2 of the 3 main starters as early movement. It looked like Alford, the rookie, getting his first real snaps out there in the nickel, and it's not a good first play. A free first down. We'll see him and Mason Smith tag team in the middle, and a quick catch, quick tackle. Cortland Sutton grabs another, this time just a gain of 7. As Nix keeps things spread. Goes with a delayed handoff, and Hall meets him in the middle. A big stop from the more cover man. Coach Boston's already touched on his thoughts of him needing to put on a few pounds in the offseason. Looks more like a strong safety out there. With a 3rd and 4. Quick pressure, but ball comes out clean. They're going to find Marvin Mims. He's down to the 25. A real good throw there from Nix under pressure. as it's a 1st and 10 for him. Another quick throw, and it looked like Savage missed the big truck stick. Johnson will end up dragging him down with a gain of 4, one of their shortest in the passing games. As they're at the 21, Nick's still looking to throw the ball. He's under pressure, and it's a sack by Deo Odeyingbo. He hasn't got much playing time this year, but he's picked up a sack in each game that he has seen some snaps. With a 3rd and 14, perhaps we'll see him make another play, or instead they go with a quick hitter to the outside. It looks like it's going to be a loss of about 1 or 2. There was no blocking for Franklin, so it sets up a Will Lutz field goal to try to take the lead. Kicking this one about the 37, a 47-yarder, and that one would have been good from 57, if not more. Will Lutz gives the lead back to the Broncos here in Mile High. But with just over 2 minutes remaining here in the first half, Jaren Hall comes out with the offense, and indeed it will be him the remainder of this game. Whether it's precautionary or not, Lawrence's day is done. Javon Baker gets the catch. He's taken down inbounds. That will take us to the 2-minute warning. A good tackle there. But for the Jags, it does give them a fresh set as we start inside 2 minutes. Trips go to the right-hand side, one to the left. They are double-teaming Thomas. As Hall is going to roll to the right-hand side here. No one quite gets open, so he lets it rip, but it comes up well short of Washington, who was double covered. Looked to be more of a throwaway rather than a real target. 2nd and 10, still at the 44. As they look to go back to Brown, but all over it. Number 99, it's Allen. 92 helping provide some of the pressure. Brings up a 3rd and 14. Spread empty look here for Hall. As he is immediately dancing around the pocket, but finds no space. It's a sack. With a 4th and 22, they will have to punt this ball away. Or at least so you would expect. But as they went to punt the ball away, roughing the kicker comes in on Baron Browning. That's going to be a free 1st down for the Jags, a gift for Jaren Hall. Keeping this drive alive. As again, he's dancing around the pocket. It opens up, and he will take it for about a gain of 15. Of course, the big thing to remember with him, he doesn't have that strong of an arm for NFL sakes. College-wise, it was strong enough. He's got to make some big plays here as he's back under pressure, and it's all coming from the interior. Boston will call a timeout to try to slow things down, let the interior catch their breath perhaps. The 2nd and 13 as they've been pushed back. Again, Hall, he's just going to step up and run. Taking the contact, ball pops out. The Broncos are going to recover. It looked like he was slowing down to try to slide. But Venable just happens to be right place, right time as the ball pops out. Broncos do get the ball back. It seems like no matter what quarterback is out there for the Jaguars, it's the same problem. Turnovers. As Mixon throws outside, a quick tackle comes in by Hall. And he's another player Coach Boston was challenging today. He had one start earlier in this season when Oluokun was out injured. He didn't play particularly well. Now, he's got another opportunity, but it's Walker making the best of his. He picks up the sack, and that will take us to halftime. Definitely was not a clean first half, but we've got a tight ball game here on the scoreboard, 10-9. A field goal and a touchdown for the Broncos, a safety and a touchdown for the Jaguars. As we look to take a break from our game, let's take a look around the league. Raiders, they are down currently to the Colts, 14-10, about a minute left in that first half. As for our second studio update, we jump over to the Jets and the Steelers. And it is 31-6, the Steelers getting stomped by the rookie quarterback in Perkins. And the last studio update we have here is down south, the Titans and the Texans. And it's a dominant win for Houston, 31-7. Not a whole lot happening for C.J. Stroud. He only threw the ball 18 times. Will Levis with 14 completions, 2 interceptions. As we get back to Mile High, it's going to be the Broncos starting on offense. They didn't get much done offensively in that first half. Their touchdown coming off a defensive scoop and score. Even though our offense has not looked great, they have outscored the Broncos offense. And Nick starts off with a nice pass out to Dulcich. who will pick up 6. A quick tackle, not letting a whole lot of yards after the catch take place. They throw across the middle, and quickly again, Jarrian Jones there. Just about a step and a half away from making a play on the ball. Leaves a 1st and 10, just 2 yards short of the midfield line. A lot of early movement, everyone back on side, but Lloyd, he didn't need that early jump. He fires off the line. He picks up the sack, a loss of 8. Perhaps Hall, who jumped a little bit early on that, took away some of the focus on him. Either way, it's a big play for this defense. 2nd and 18, and across the middle again, Jones there, just not able to knock it away. But again, limiting the yardage, brings up a 3rd and 10, in which they drive it across the middle. Williams is there, he gets the catch, but he's 4 yards shy of the 1st down marker. And it seems after some contemplation, they will end up punting that ball away. The Bronco crowd doesn't approve, some boos rain in, but the offense can head out at the 15. Hall and Bigsby in the backfield as they go to Tank down the middle for about 4. We really didn't get to see much at all of the running game in the first half. We'll see with Hall coming out here if there's a change to that game plan. As it's an end around for Thomas, he's taken at least one of these a game for a majority of the games. Ends up setting up a pretty nice 3rd down for us, just about a yard away. They bring out 2 tight ends right-hand side as Tank cuts left and is close. It looks like they're going to give it to him. Barton does not quite agree. They thought they got the stop. Refs don't agree. 2nd and 6 with a tight shotgun look here for Hall. As he will throw out of a sack. Yeah, Thomas breaking open. He's really not getting much of any time back there. The edge rushers are closing down the outside, and then the interior rush has picked up most of the sacks. Tank down the middle. Venable will drag him down after 6. But he really is an impressive young player. 1st round pick. 12 overall. He's playing on the interior and on the outside. Very similar to what we were trying to do with Deo. As Hall scrambles, he throws out, and it's dropped by Brown. Perhaps he heard the footsteps. So both offenses end up stalling to start this second half, and we end up punting it away. Starting at the 29 are the Broncos. 2 spread to the left-hand side, 1 to the right, as they go with a delayed handoff to Williams, one of his few carries today, picking up 3. While the Jaguars defense for most of the season has been really dominant in stopping the run, it's a pretty shaken up group in that aspect. Didn't play well last week, and getting to the outside this time, Franklin had -2 on a screen pass earlier. Instead, he takes it 2 yards inside the 10. Almost all of that was after contact. A huge play there for the Broncos. They've been missing that all day today. 1st and 10, or 1st and goal even, with the throw that is caught. It is Evan Ingram getting his first grab. Been a long time since we've called his name around here, with a 2nd and goal at the 4. They'll continue looking to pass this ball. Nix, he rolls, but with the beat on him is Devin Lloyd. Not letting him get to the outside as there was no one left for him to cover, so he just turned into a QB spy. Now leaves 3rd and goal. Now it opens up for Nix, and Lloyd bit too far to the left. So it's 50-50 between the two, but 150 has an extra touchdown. And that gives the Broncos an 8-point lead. As we'll take the field here starting at the 30. Our offense hasn't done much, whether it's been Hall or Lawrence out there, needing to find some points. As they look for the check down, that's too short. They had Tank open, but not with that kind of throw. Leaves them at the 30 with a 2nd down as they look to set up the screen, and it's too far this time. Bad miss, too, as if they got that out there with blockers. There was plenty of space for Brown to show off that speed. Brings up a 3rd and 10, and perhaps it might be 3rd and 15. We're going to see who they call first, and indeed, it's going to be a Jaguar. Harrison moves slightly before the defender did so. Indeed, 3rd and 15. Trips go right-hand side. Hall, he's got to make something happen here as he throws up for Sexton. It's broken up. Barton in coverage. And still no one has been able to get the ball rolling on offense. We punt away. Down by 8. Colts with the ball. Under pressure, and Abdullah picks up the sack. One of his few snaps today, unfortunately. It comes with an injury to one of the offensive linemen in Froholt. We've seen a couple of bigger injuries in this one. Really hate seeing that late on, especially with the Denver Broncos. Their season 2 games from a finish as Williams nearly breaks away. Hall comes in to help clean up the tackle. It was Lloyd that met him first. And we'll see if they get the snap off here. They will not. So we head to the 4th quarter. We are down by 8 with a 3rd and long on defense. We've got to get that ball back, and we've got to find a way to get down the field. So starting the 4th quarter, it is 3rd and 18. As they look to set up the screen to the right-hand side, tight end screen for Ingram. He's quickly chopped out by Jones. Defense will pick up the stop. They've got to shift a little bit of some momentum to the offense. And it's not all been Hall's fault while he's been out there. He really hasn't seen much time to throw the ball, let alone if he had any receivers open in the first place. Starting back at the 29, they go Tank Bigsby, who finds a small lane for 3. For this Broncos defense that is 30th in yards allowed per game. They're doing a pretty good job today. Racking up the TFLs, a lot of just in the face of our quarterback. Rolling to the right-hand side here. Hall will take it himself through the contact. He picks up the first. He definitely could have looked to throw it. There was a receiver open, but he took the safest option. And we're not going to argue against that here this late. Tank down the middle. He's stood up by Barton. We'll mark it a gain of 2. He hasn't really had much of an impact on this game either. Nor has Brown, who checks in here for the 2nd and 8. They get motion on the left-hand side and go back out to the wide receiver / running back screen. It really is what he plays. With the pressure that the Broncos have forced today, that's a good play to try to draw up. Picks up the first down. They're back into plus side. With 2 receivers left-hand side, throwing behind, and Thomas couldn't make the adjustment. Though with a defender crashing in, probably not a bad choice in where to place that by Hall, just not making the play. Nonetheless, Tank down the middle. Gap was there, couldn't quite hit it quick enough. Brings up a 3rd and 7. 2 go to the right-hand side, 1 to the left. 4 down territory perhaps here. As they're going down the field for Thomas, turns into double coverage, but they might get a defender arriving there a little bit early. It's a very ticky-tacky kind of call, but that's indeed what they get. Isaiah Rodgers Sr. So down to the half-yard line here. DeGuara in motion. They hand it off to Tank, and he will just inch by that goal line. That puts us within 2 points of tying. So the offense is going to have to stay out on that field. And if we find the 2-point, we'll have a whole new ball game here inside 4.5-ish minutes after the kickoff. With 3 to the right-hand side, Thomas to the left. They're going to motion Sexton out to that left-hand side. All letting things get set up here. They throw it out to the rookie who backs the defender into the end zone. And we are level here, 17-17 in Mile High. And while that was 100% a better drive from the offense, it was still largely helped out by the penalty. Now they tied game here. Defense has to keep it tied, leave some time for our offense to make a play and take a lead, or Cortland Sutton with a first down, play 1. They've really liked flooding one side of the field today. That's been their calling card on offense. With 2 to the right-hand side, 1 to the left. They hand it off, and Williams hops over the ankle tackle. Jerrion Jones cleans it up. It'll go as a gain of 7, one of the longer runs for the Broncos on the day. Now with a spread look, an early movement this time, Devin Lloyd, he got caught jumping a little bit early. And that sack he had on the previous drive, perhaps a little bit too excited for another opportunity. 1st and 10, they fake the jet sweep and hand it right back to Williams, who bounces off a couple tackles, still gonna lose 1. And now a second offensive lineman for the Broncos shaken up is McGlinchey. They lost Dulcich a couple drives ago. That leaves only 3 of the original starters out there. 2nd and 11, throwing a really good tackle there from Lloyd. But Mims does pick up 6, making things pretty manageable here for 3rd down. They'll come out with 2 to the right-hand side, 2 tight ends to the left. Nix gets to the outside, but doesn't like what he sees. He throws it away at the 41, just inside 3 minutes left. And it looks like they're going to bring out Lutz here, kicking this one from the 59-yarder. We saw his leg earlier, and he doinks it inside the upright. We'll see another look here as it comes in, hits the right upright, the perfect angle, just a centimeter to the right, and that one does not carry the same angle, maybe even bounces out. Gives the Broncos a lead as the offense takes the field. We've got a long field in front of us as we start with a throw and finding Baker. I believe that's only his second catch of the game. They do go hurry up. Going to send the tight ends to the right-hand side. Bigsby over to the left side. And again, flowing back, he's got Thomas. Gets it out to him. A flag comes in after the throw. Thomas not wanting to go down until he's literally picked off the ground. But the flag will bring it back. First it was the false start. Now a holding on Harrison. Not a good set of plays for him. 2nd and 15. 2 to the right, 1 to the left. Hall trying to orchestrate a game-tying drive perhaps here as he cuts back towards the middle. Will pick up lost 5 and take it to the 2-minute warning. Clearly at this point it is 4-down territory, so they don't have to pick up all the 10 here, but just got to find a clean throw. Hard count, no one jumps. Throws to Thomas, gets the grab, he turns up by Rodgers, headed down the sideline, tried to hit the cut back in. But a big play down to the 33 should be field goal range. A massive play from the young star receiver, and he's really carried him today in that category. For the 1st and 10 down to the 33. Hand this one off to Tank Bigsby. We'll pick up 5 more. Perhaps just trying to catch him a little bit off guard with that run as we move inside a minute and a half. And we play action. Rolling to the left-hand side here. Hall will take it himself, angling out just shy of the 1st down marker. Perhaps if he gets the block there from his receiver, it is a 1st down, but 3rd and inches. They run it weak side. Tank, he's got the 1st down, not much more, and they're going to go hurry up off of that. Keeping everyone to the left-hand side. We're inside a minute remaining. Hall goes play action. Rolls, his receiver breaks open, got Brenton Strange, who's into the end zone, but yet again a flag is back in the backfield. And unfortunately, it's just too dominant of a block from the rookie tackle. Drove his guy downfield, got in the way of the cover guys. That's going to back us up, take the points off the board. 41 seconds remaining. You got to find a big one, and the ball is lofted. Nearly intercepted. You put a little bit more mustard on that. You've got Baker, who was open across the middle, but just too much loft and nearly ended the game here for the Jaguars. That would have been a really bad swing. Going back to Thomas, he gets the catch, and a 1st timeout is called with a 3rd and 5. 33 seconds remaining. You want to get the 1st down here, but you still got to consider a tied game is better than being down. But if they get the 1st down here, they could keep the thing going. Pass across the middle, and they get Baker this time with a 2nd timeout call. That time, the lofted pass pans out for the Jaguars and for Hall. 3 tight ends right-hand side, Thomas to the left. As they're going to get motion. That's Brevin Jordan all the way to the left-hand side. Thrown across the middle and drop Brenton Strange. Cody Barton there to help break that one up. Keeps this one still going here. 23 seconds remaining at the 11. They bring the blitz. It's thrown and swatted away. If they had a little touch on that one, maybe they get Sexton. Surtain makes a play, and it's now 3rd and 10 at the 11. 20 seconds left. Hard count, no one jumps. Throws to the right-hand side. He's got Thomas with the spin move. The Jaguars take the lead. 16 seconds left, and this time the play will stand. They'll hit the PAT, make it 24-20, and a touchdown game for the Broncos in a quiet Mile High. The big thing to remember, the Broncos do have 3 timeouts. They just have 12 seconds to get themselves into the end zone. With some decent blocking up front, Nix with time. He's going to look to scramble to the outside, and he will not get out of bounds. Broncos will be forced to call a timeout. They've got 4 seconds remaining, which means this should be the final play of the game. As they do the check down, Ingram gets the catch, but the game is over. Broncos clearly wanting the slightly better draft pick, losing another game. The Jaguars, however, they rally. They show a strong mentality that they never quite stop fighting. Unfortunately, some injuries happened in this game, Trevor Lawrence being one. We'll have to get an update on him. But ultimately, the team picked up the win, and that is what Coach Boston wanted to see. The mentality that they just kept fighting and making the big plays. With the few starters out there, they made plays throughout, including Thomas for the game-winning touchdown. The injury news is not good for Trevor Lawrence. It could be worse. He will be out all the way until the AFC Conference Championship, which means we have to figure something out at quarterback because we can't just have one on roster. And there aren't any too highly rated players left. So who's going to be our backup and potentially even see the playing field? Taylor Heinicke? Or do we look for someone like Ryan Tannehill or Jimmy G? So as for Heinicke, his accuracies, they're not good. Most are below an 80, short is at an 80, throw power is at an 83, but he does have the ability to run, which fits in with what our offense really thrives on. As for Ryan Tannehill, he's still in that same kind of group despite being 37 years old. He does have 85 speed, so more speed there, better throw power, but the accuracies, believe it or not, are worse. And then you throw in Jimmy G, who has the least amount of speed from that group. His throw power is the worst. He does have some slightly better accuracies though, with still deep being pretty low. I think our best option is going to be Taylor Heinicke. And if I'm not mistaken, we had actually signed him in the offseason or in the preseason and ended up releasing him in favor of Jaren Hall. So he's at least semi-familiar with the offense. I think that would be the most reasonable scenario, but only time will tell. But we'll make this signing. But that does mean someone will have to go, and Matt Generals, I believe, would be better if we send him to the practice squad. So that will get us back to the 53. The next episode, we will get to see these two quarterbacks battle it out. If we compare them real quickly, Hall does have the better speed, better acceleration, agility, change of direction, so he's just going to be the better runner. He's also stronger. Awareness, though, is 10 points less. Throw power is going to be the same. Short throw accuracy is basically the same. Medium, again, basically the same with the same deep. Throw on the run is a slight edge to Heinicke. Pressure, though, that's going to be to the favor of Heinicke, and break sack as well. Play action for Hall. I think we need to probably see 2 quarters each from these two, because one of them is going to be leading us into the playoffs. This series is every single Tuesday and Thursday, as next time we face our final divisional matchup, hopefully of the season. We've only won one of these. Now we've got the Houston Texans, who've done mediocre. They're 8-8. It should still be a good game, so we'll see you then with a surprise at quarterback as we round out our regular season in Duval.